otak, cuma bolong dan rencana. Macam model ini, pacar tak ragu dan kiss pada sekali.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. My name is Nur and Patricia binti Anwar. So before we discuss more in this case study, let me explain a little bit about the company background. So basically, Enron was an American energy trading and utilities company which based in Houston, Texas in 1985, and Houston Natural Gas and Internos, two gas businesses merged to establish Enron. It was one of the main global hub for communication, natural gas and power. Kenneth Lilly is the company's owner and served as both chairman and CEO. In addition, the business was supported by one of the largest accounting fraud in recorded history. It was one of the biggest stock market crashes and bankruptcies in US history in 2001.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nur Aini Nabila binti Muhammad Khairul Afizan. I will continue for question 1, which is Enron CEO and employees frame their business model and the differences in their framing affect their actions. Okay, Enron CEO and employees frame their business model as innovative and driven by high ethical standards despite the reality of their unethical practices. That is how they presented their business model, which is high ethical standards. Enron CEO Ken Lay made it known in public that the company conducted its business activities in a way that aligned to the highest ethical standards. This was a crucial component of their narrative, which represented Enron as a morally upright business. Next, they used innovation for their frame business model. Enron portrayed itself as a cutting-edge business leading the energy sector. They preached about how well they could negotiate tricky markets and come up with original ideas to satisfy the need for energy. Thirdly is efficiency of market. Employees at Enron believed they were working in unregulated, emerging and immature energy markets. Rather of viewing their activity as immoral, they perceived them as taking advantage of inconsistency and manipulating the system. They were able to defend their conduct by using this framing to argue that they were required for success in a cutthroat market. Moreover, profitability and increasing shareholder value were key components of Enron's corporate strategy. They were prepared to take part in dubious activities at the expenses of consumers and legal compliance to boost revenues. Enron portrayed itself as a forward-thinking business that was motivated by morality and innovation, but it was involved in immoral and unlawful business practices to increase its profits. Next, the CEO of Enron and the employees presented their business strategy differently, which had a big impact on what they did. Firstly, in view on ethical conduct, Enron was presented by the CEO and upper management as a business that maintained the greatest moral standards. Employees were probably led to feel that their acts were acceptable in a competitive market, even if they were unethical. Employees may have felt more confident to participate in dangerous and unethical behaviors because of this sense of ethical conduct. They also emphasized on innovation and market efficiency, and we created a culture where employees felt empowered to take advantage of weakness in the system and game by the system by presenting its business model is creative and driven by the market. Employees prioritize profitability above morality because they believe they were in an environment of competition where these actions were required for success, which caused them to place a higher value on market efficiency. Therefore, maximization of profits. The presentation of Enron's corporate strategy as profit-driven served to strengthen an environment in which staff members were encouraged to put immediate profits ahead of long-term sustainability. The lack of concern for the possible harm that their activities may cause to stakeholders and customers may have resulted from their concentration on profits. In conclusion, the differences in framing inside Enron impacted employees' ideas of appropriate behavior within the company's culture, which in turn affected their behavior. Employees felt justified in using immoral means to further their aims in a culture that prioritizes ethical conduct, innovation, market efficiency, and profit maximization.
I will take this part to answer this question, which is how framing affect people's approaches to business conduct with a good explanation for easy understanding. So there are three ways. Firstly, by ethical orientation. The framing of business goals and practices can influence individuals' perceptions of what constitutes ethical behavior. If a company consistently emphasizes profitability and success above all, as employees may prioritize achieving financial targets over ethical considerations. Conversely, if an organization frames its missions around ethical principles and social responsibility, so employees are more likely to align their conduct with these values even when faced with difficult decisions. Secondly is by risk perception. Framing can also affect how individuals perceive and respond to risks associated with certain business practices. For example, if a company frames regulatory compliance as burdensome red tape that hinders innovation and profitability, employees may be more inclined to take shortcuts or engage in risky behavior to achieve desired outcomes. On the other hand, if the organization emphasizes the potential consequences of non-compliance, such as legal penalties or damage to reputation, employees are more likely to adhere to regulatory standards and adopt risk-averse strategies. Other than that is by long-term sustainability. The framing of business objectives can influence whether individuals prioritize short-term gains or long-term sustainability. If a company focuses exclusively on maximizing immediate profits, employees may overlook the long-term impacts of their actions on stakeholders, the environment, and the company's reputation. However, if the organization frames success in terms of sustainable growth, ethical stewardship, and stakeholder engagement, employees are more likely to consider the broader implications of their decisions and adopt practices that promote long-term viability and resilience.
Next, I will be presenting on the third question, which is framing tactics and how does it affect the product and the actions of their consumers. The first framing tactic is language framing. Language framing is an emotional control tool used by advertisers to communicate their messaging by understanding customers' emotional responses to small changes in language use. Advertisers can motivate them to present a positive image of their products. This can influence customer behavior and increase the likelihood of buying product due to persuasive language. For example, Mercedes-Benz uses linguistic framing to portray luxury as refined and cautious rather than combative terms like overpriced. Conversely, lower-priced cars are often promoted as affordable, as they are more neutral and likely to have a positive reaction from customers. This approach helps advertisers effectively communicate their message and influence customer behavior. Next is positive and negative frame. The positive and negative frame can be breaking down into two parts, which is positive frame bring the meaning of convincing the client to purchase the product sale. Meanwhile, the negative frame is the urgency and drop sale. Negative language such as hurry, don't miss out, and last chance can make customers feel compelled to purchase product and making them feel like they are losing something. Conversely, positive framing often shows you how using the product can solve a single issue, resulting in more customers purchasing the product. This strategy is common among the businesses, leading to high scale profit by altering the action of making a purchase based on the approach application. The tactic has altered customer behavior. For example, Amazon, they use the first limited time to promote sales and making customer feel pressed for time. The last framing tactic is visual frame. The visual frame, which includes color, font size, style, and body language, is crucial in conveying a message. Studies show that font size design can affect the client's emotions and reaction. Font size also influence customer behavior, influencing them to read only the content that advertisers want to emphasize. For example, Nando's, as a fast food restaurant, uses bold, modern, and contemporary style with very red Pantone color. The typefaces created by Mark Salimu, a sign writer and artist, are influenced by traditional South African sign design. Nando's uses unique font style to evoke a sense of beauty and character, enhancing the overall impression of the restaurant.
In my opinion, this conversation underscores the importance of being aware of the framing tactics used in business and ethical situations. It highlights the need for individuals to critically evaluate the framing of situations and to consider the ethical implications of their actions, regardless of how they are framed. This awareness is crucial for maintaining ethical integrity and for challenging unethical practices when they are presented in a way that justifies or normalizes them. Other than that, this conversation proves that framing can adversely affect ethical decision making in the workplace by making ethical considerations seem less relevant or by justifying unethical actions as necessary for success. This can lead to a culture where ethical considerations are sidelined in favor of achieving short-term goals.
In my opinion, on this conversation, great justify lying as a necessary component of marketing, exposing a worrying normalization of unethical behavior within the organization. Shari shows discomfort at first but gives up in the end, demonstrating how corporate culture may affect moral judgment. This conversation highlights the importance of ethical leadership and a culture of integrity within organization to prevent unethical behavior and promote responsible decision making.
If I were a new employee starting my career at Enron and learned about the fraudulent activities and framing tactics that led to the Enron scandal, I would consider leaving the organization because it is important to prioritize personal integrity and ethical values in any work environment. It is because it can maintain personal integrity. Working in an environment rife with fraudulent activities and unethical behavior can take a toll on one's sense of integrity. Staying in such a toxic environment may compromise one's values and principles over the time. Therefore, it also can protect physical and mental well-being. Continuing to work in a company with a culture of fraudulent and unethical behavior can lead to increased stress, anxiety, and even potential legal implications. Living such an environment can protect one's physical and mental well-being. Next, I think I will report to authorities. If I believe that the fraudulent activities poses serious legal or ethical risks, I will consider reporting the information to external authorities such as regulatory agencies or law enforcement to ensure that appropriate actions are taken to address the wrongdoing. It is because it is the legal obligation in some jurisdiction. Individual may have a legal obligation to report certain types of fraudulent activities, especially if they involve violence of law or regulations. Failing to report such activity may lead to legal consequences for the individual. Besides that, it can protect the public interest. Reporting fraudulent activities to authorities helps protect the public interest by ensuring that illegal practices are uncovered and addressed. This can prevent harm to investors, consumers, and other stakeholders who may be affected by the wrongdoing.
For me, is discuss with trusted colleagues. Identify colleagues whom I trusted and believe have integrity and a commitment to ethical conduct. Approach these colleagues discreetly and in a confidential manner to share my concerns. Listen actively to their perspective and insights, but remain cautious about divulging sensitive information to ensure confidentiality. Use this discussion to gather additional information and perspective, which may help corroborate my observation or provide valuable context. Be mindful of potential risks and consequences such as retaliation or breach of confidentiality when selecting whom to confide in. This step can help me make informed decision about how to proceed and provide valuable support if I choose to take further action.
Next is maintaining a positive attitude. I would strive to maintain a positive attitude and contribute positively to the workplace culture. This includes engaging in constructive dialogue with colleagues, participating in team activities, and contributing to a positive work environment. By doing so, I can help foster a culture of positivity and professionalism, which can encourage the company to change its behavior. This is because to promote a healthy work environment, a positive attitude fosters a healthier work environment. It encourages open communication, collaboration, and a sense of belonging among employees. This environment is less likely to encourage or tolerate unethical practices, as employees are more likely to support and hold ethical standards when they feel valued and positive.
In conclusion, the Enron scandal stands as a stark reminder of the catastrophic consequences that can arise from unchecked corporate greed and unethical business practices. The company's rapid rise and subsequent collapse serve as a cautionary tale for both the business world and regulators, alike emphasizing the crucial importance of transparency, integrity, and robust oversight in maintaining the stability and trustworthiness of financial markets. The Enron case underscores the need for companies to prioritize ethical conduct, accountability, and adherence to regulation for prevent similar catastrophes in the future.